have you started first with DSA or development, and how you decide between them, like what to start with?
Initially, I started with the DSA only. After 2 or 3 months, I got a little bored because in the first year, everyone was doing the development, they were making the websites. So, due to
Hmm.
the college influence, I started doing development
Yeah,
also.
so like how did
And
you get to know about BNY? Like how did you land in your current role? Was it on campus opportunity or off campus opportunity?
yeah, in talking about the BNY, it came on campus
So like
only.
total
And
how many rounds were there? What was the complete process?
there were actually 3 rounds on
Mhm.
campus. These were the interview rounds. Before that, we had an online assessment. It
Mhm.
was consisting of 4 questions. We had to complete those 4 questions in 90
So like
minutes.
what was the complete interview process? Can you please tell us about the interviews in detail?
Yes, yes, sure.
Hi everyone. What's up? All good? Good. So I think every one of you have seen the title, right? So for this today we will be having Khushi with us, who is an upcoming SD intern at BNY. Yeah, at BNY. So today she will be sharing her complete experience from applying to cracking such a good company. So if you're also preparing for good product based companies or any technical interviews as well, then this video is for you. And if you also want to know this in such more interview experiences, then go to my channel, or you can also check out the description in which I have given the links to such more interview experiences of big companies like Google, Microsoft, and all Flipkart. So do check out those videos as well. So without wasting our time, let's get started. Hi Khushi. First of all, thanks a
Hello.
lot for yeah. First of all, thanks a lot for accepting my invite. So how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I am also doing really good. So how is it going now? How you are feeling after cracking such a good company?
It's going really great and very grateful after grabbing such a company because a lot of rejections I have faced and then getting such a good company, it's a kind of peaceful as well as a grateful feeling.
Yeah, right. So we would love to know about your experience. So first of all, can you please just introduce yourself? Like what was your college, when it started, and how you started coding and everything?
So, I am Khushi Sharma. I am a third year undergraduate student pursuing Information Technology BTech in Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women, IGD2W. The short form is also very long.
Yeah.
So, I started my college in the start of 2022, and that was the time when I actually started coding. And I started coding in Python first of all, pursuing DSA in Python initially through a course learning how the data structures work. This is how I actually started. And talking about my college life, I am the president of Finance and Economics Society, as well as I have been running the Microsoft Learn chapter in the college, from where my interest came into Microsoft Learn technologies. So I am a beta MLSA also.
Okay, so you are doing a lot of things. So you are doing coding since first year, right?
Right, right.
Yeah. So like since first year, how did you start it? Have you started first with DSA or development, and how you decide between them, like what to start with?
Initially, I started with the DSA only. And
Mhm.
when I was just learning all the theory part, that
Mhm.
was the time I realized that the theory is not going to be sufficient for me. So
Mhm.
that's when I started with the codeship. Because initially, when you don't know a lot of DSA, so you won't be able to solve the questions directly on the Leetcode. So I started with the
Mhm.
codeship, solving those questions. And after 2 or 3 months, I got a little bored because in the first year, everyone was doing the development, they were making the websites. So due to
Mhm.
the college influence, I started doing development also. And after 3 months of continuous coding and learning two languages, Python and Java,
Mhm.
I started doing development. So that was a pretty messy path I followed. And
Mhm.
after doing the development, I think I gave development 6 to 7 months and I
Mhm.
started participating in the hackathons. And that was the time I realized that I can pursue the hackathons, a lot of hackathons now.
Hmm.
And they actually helped me to build my resume and filling the section of those achievements and project section also. I had built a confidence in myself that I have pursued the development. I have good projects in it, and afterwards completion of the development, a basic level of development, I knew front end, and during the front end I started covering the back end also. तो एक दो तीन प्रोजेक्ट अच्छे बनाने के बाद मैंने डेवलपमेंट छोड़ के फिर डीएसए पे फोकस किया पूरा फुल फ्लेजेड. When I was in second year, I knew कि second year के end में my internship season is going to get started.
Hmm.
So that was the moment that I had a strike कि नहीं, now I need to leave development because it's sufficient. And then I started the DSA.
Yeah, right. That's really amazing. Yeah. So, like, according to you, what is the right time to get started with DSA? Like, if someone is starting in second year, is it fine, or should someone start only in first year? According to you, what is the right time to started with DSA?
See, data structures and algorithm are the basic building blocks for a programming language. Until and unless you know these, you won't be able to code in any language because ultimately, after basic mathematics, these are the things which are going to help you for solving problem in any language.
Yeah,
So,
right.
according to me, the best part and the best time for starting the DSA will be right from the first year. You start from the first year, pick a single programming language and stick to it. And after that, when you have finished the basic level of DSA and you will be regular in your problem solving, it won't bore you.
Hmm.
And after you have a habit of problem solving, you are maintaining good streaks on CodeChef and Leetcode, you can go ahead with the development, build some great projects over there and pursue that. So
Yeah,
I think
because
first year will be.
yeah. Yeah, because DSA will increase our problem solving that, and we can implement that problem solving everywhere. We can implement that problem solving by doing development as well. Because in by doing development, we need to implement various logic. So DSA builds our problem solving skills. That's why DSA is very important. Yeah. So like, how did you get to know about BNY? Like, how did you land in your current role? Was it on campus opportunity or off campus opportunity?
So yeah, in talking about the BNY, it came on campus only, and
Okay.
BNY was a good company because I was very active on Twitter during the days of my practice in DSA. I was actually very motivated by a lot of people over there. So one of the persons from those Twitter tech people was from BNY, and I was
Okay.
very much motivated because I had seen his streak. He maintained a whole streak during the year. I was like, he's a software engineer at BNY. It's such a big company. That was the moment I Googled about it. And when it actually came onto my campus, it was like stars in my eyes because I had faced a lot of rejections by minor blunders in my resume during my on campus drive. So BNY came on campus and I was very happy to see it because बहुत लोगों से सुना था it's very good company. So
Yeah.
it got me.
Okay. So, like, total, how many rounds were there? What was the complete process?
There were actually three rounds on campus. These were the interview rounds. Before that, we had an online assessment. It was consisting of four questions. We had to complete those four questions in 90 minutes. And
Okay.
they were leveling questions. One was slightly on the easier side, and then medium to hard. So these were the range of questions we had in those four questions. After the online assessment, there was a shortlisting round in which I think the people who had completed 3.5 or 4 questions, they were shortlisted.
Okay.
And after the shortlisting, we had offline on campus interviews in our campus.
Okay. So, like, we need to
So,
complete at least 3.5 questions to get shortlisted. Okay.
yes, yes.
So, like, is there any resume shortlisting as well, or did they, or everyone got the chance to appear for the online assessment?
There was no such resume shortlisting as far as I remember, but resume played a lot of important role in the interview questions because I remember in every round of interview, our resume was properly skimmed by the interviewers. they had that piece of paper printed in our hands as well as online on their laptops. So they were completely viewing it up. That it is the same resume that they have mentioned in
Yeah.
resume, BNY Drive. So resume was a very important part.
Yeah, right. So like there's no resume shortlisting, but questions were asked related to resume in interview rounds.
Right.
Okay. So like what was the complete interview process? Can you please tell us about the interviews in detail?
Yes, yes, sure.
Yeah.
So there were three interview rounds. The first round was technical, and in that particular round, I was asked the questions from DSA. There was an easy question and there was a medium level question in the DSA. We were given a piece of paper on which we had to write the codes, right from basic to optimized approach.
Okay.
So brute force and optimized, we have to cover both of them for both the questions. Apart from DSA, we were asked the questions from all the things that we had listed in our technical proficiency section of the resume. As I told, that resume played a very important part. So they
Mm-hmm.
actually captured everything which we had mentioned. So
Okay.
I mentioned OOPS, I mentioned DBMS, OS, because these were the subjects that were completed in my curriculum during second
Yeah.
year in IGDTU.
Yeah.
So I was asked the questions from all these subjects. And after these questions, they actually skimmed my resume and they asked about the projects I have mentioned in my resume. So they
Mm-hmm.
were MERN based projects, and whatever the part I had played in it and the technical uh, stacks which were used in those projects. तो उन्होंने उसके बारे में भी पूछा. एंड प्रोजेक्ट के जस्ट बाद मैंने जो भी कोई हैकाथॉन्स किए थे उसमें जो प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाए थे वहां पे मेरा क्या रोल रहा. सो उसके बारे में भी उन्होंने पूछा. सो आई थिंक देयर वाज नथिंग लेफ्ट इन माय रिज्यूमे, मैं सच बताऊं तो, क्योंकि व्हाटएवर आई वाज डूइंग इन माय चैप्टर्स दैट वाज. सो फर्स्ट राउंड में दे कवर्ड एवरीथिंग. When I got into my second round, second was a tough technical round because
Okay.
in I remember in the second round, I was asked, the first question was directly from binary search tree. There was nothing in
Okay.
between. There was no array, linked list, stack, queue, no. Directly tree was asked. And in that question also, I was supposed to use the approach of swiping the nodes and all. So it was a tough question in second technical round. And as I told you about the technical proficiency, whenever you are listing any skills or any languages which you know, please be very precise to your knowledge, because in the first round also, I was asked about the HTML and CSS. If I mentioned that I had used the front end, so they asked me, tell me about some properties of HTML. Tell me about what you have been using as elements and divisions in CSS. Can you write
Mm-hmm.
a code? So ये सब कुछ पूछा गया था. अगर ये मैंने इजी भी मेंशन कर दिया तो कितना इजी तुम्हें आता है.
Okay.
एंड इन द सेकंड राउंड जैसे बीएसटी पूछा सीधा.
Mm-hmm.
नेक्स्ट थिंग आई वाज आस्क्ड वाज ओएस. ओएस एंड oops. अब वहां पे क्या हुआ, ये चीज मुझसे फर्स्ट राउंड में भी पूछी थी लेकिन मुझसे सेकंड राउंड में भी ये चीज पूछी गई, एंड एक लेवल अप करके. सो
Mm-hmm.
आई विल सजेस्ट यू गाइस कि आप कभी भी अपने इंटरव्यू में साइमल्टेनियस राउंड्स दे रहे हैं तो पहले राउंड के सारी चीजें ध्यान में रखें, क्या हमसे पूछा क्या गया था, बिकॉज सेकंड राउंड इज मोर और लेस रिलेटेड टू द फर्स्ट राउंड ओनली. In the
Mm-hmm.
break which I had during these rounds, I studied from GFG all the questions which I could be asked from OS, OOPS and DBMS. तो अगर जैसे जॉइंट्स बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं हमारे, तो ये बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन थे जो एक लेवल अप करके पूछ लिए गए थे कि इनके बीच में क्या होता है, अच्छा इस जॉइंट को कहाँ यूज करते हैं, as well as the practical implementation of the DSA also. That's what was asked in the second round. So, and the trickiest part was that she was countering me on every question
Okay.
and every answer I was giving. And when
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is the approach that could be used. First question was reversing the doubly linked list. It was very easy. मैंने जल्दी जल्दी कोड लिख दिया. And she asked everything. अच्छा ये दो ही यूज होंगे पॉइंटर्स पक्का. मैंने कहा यस मैम. मैंने जॉइंट्स के बारे में बताया. शी सेड पक्का इसके बीच में कुछ नहीं होता. मैंने कहा यस मैम. तो शी वॉज ऑल्सो गेटिंग मी कंफ्यूज बिकॉज आप वो आपका कॉन्फिडेंस डुबाने की पूरी कोशिश करेंगे बट यू डोंट बी अफ्रेड ऑफ देम.
Yeah, that's the point because that's why we should answer every question with confidence. Yeah, we are confident about our answers because interviewers will try to make us confused by cross questioning again and again. Yeah.
ट्रू 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 प्रियंशी. एंड मेरे को भी काफी डर लग रहा था. मेरे को लग रहा था मैंने ये क्या कर दिया. आई मिस्ड अप माय सेकंड राउंड. आई वाज कंप्लीटली शॉक्ड. बट कोई ना गई, मैंने कहा यस मैम, यस मैम, से डर डर के मैंने बोला, बट यू शुड बी कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट योर आंसर।
Yeah.
एक बार कॉन्फिडेंस से बोलो। तो मैंने उनके सेकंड क्वेश्चन में पकड़ लिया दैट शी इज गोइंग टू फॉलो द सेम पैटर्न, शी विल आस्क मी ऑन एवरी क्वेश्चन।
Hmm.
So I was confident about those later five questions. Yes, I have to answer like this. So after the end of my second round, I was very anxious. I was totally praying to my God what I had done in this round. मैं गई, I'm gone. I
Hmm.
was so afraid to exit the room also. And that was the moment when I had received the call from the HR team that Khushi Sharma, who is she? मैंने कहा yes sir, I am Khushi Sharma. And you won't believe that they were like 30 seconds from I was exiting. I just turned my back. So I just exited the room. I was going out of the room, and my all the friends were sitting over there. And I had a call from the HR that Khushi Sharma, ma'am is you just please go for the third round. I was completely shocked because in my mind I had messed up the second round, and none of my acquaintances were called for the third round. And I was like, "ये क्या हो रहा है?" So it got me excited again because while leaving, I was saying it to myself what I had done in this round. But guys, whatever the answers you are giving, just be confident about them. हो सकता है आप
Yeah.
सही दे रहे हो एंड आपको कहीं ना
Hmm.
कहीं वो इनसाइट्स पता हो, लेकिन एट द मोमेंट यू विल गेट अफ्रेड, वो नहीं करना है. So next came the third round, and during that third round, I was very happy. Why I was happy? Not just because I was about to clear the internship. मेरे को खुशी इस बात की थी कि मैंने दो टेक्निकल राउंड्स पूरे पूरे दे दिए एंड आई वाज
Hmm.
कॉल्ड फॉर द थर्ड राउंड. तो
Yeah.
मुझे अपने आप से एक खुशी फील हो रही थी कि चलो ये हो गया. एंड एचआर वाज रियली ग्रेट. एचआर इज, they tested my personality. They got into my position of responsibilities, what I had done in my college life. मैंने क्या किस चैप्टर में किया है. They cross questioned about everything, and they were pretty chill. HR was pretty chill. He asked about whether I will be comfortable in remote locations like Pune and Chennai. Will my parents allow? And what background I had. My parents also कहाँ कहाँ से belong करते हैं. मेरे सिबलिंग कौन है, मेरे कितने सिबलिंग्स हैं, सब कुछ पूछा उन्होंने. तो मैंने सब बहुत ऑनेस्टली आंसर किया कि
Hmm.
आई हैड माई ब्रदर. तो उन्होंने बताया कि भाई को याद नहीं आएगी तुम्हारी. मैंने कहा सर वो भी इंस्पायर होगा, आ जाएगा वो भी पीछे पीछे, दीदी के पीछे पीछे जाते हैं. तो
Yeah.
भाई बहनों को आती है. और फिर सब कुछ ये जनरल फैमिली के बारे में पूछने के बाद उन्होंने पोजीशन ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज को क्रॉस चेक किया. He asked about how do you manage all those things which you have in your college.
Hmm.
During my internship, you won't believe I had two big societies, and उन दोनों को लीड करना काफी हेक्टिक हो जाता है along with managing my all the knowledge which I had on my table.
Hmm.
So that also I asked honestly. And the most important thing I will say is कि interviewers ने एक चीज पूछी थी, do you have any questions for us? And almost
Hmm.
every interviewer asks.
Yeah.
तो मेरे ख्याल से उस टाइम पे आपके मन में जो क्यूरियस बच्चा है उसको मारना नहीं चाहिए डर के
Yeah.
कि कहीं मैं जज ना हो जाऊं आज. तो
Hmm.
मैंने बहुत दिल खोल के उनसे पूछा. एवरी इंटरव्यूअर आई आस्क्ड. फर्स्ट इंटरव्यूअर थे, ही वाज अ लिटिल यू नो इंट्रोवर्टेड टाइप. वो एकदम से नहीं पूछ रहे थे, स्माइल नहीं कर रहे थे. मैंने डर डर के उनसे पूछ लिया, सर कैसे चल रहा है आपका बीएनवाई में, हाउ इज दिस कंपनी एंड ऑल. एंड सेकंड आल्सो शी वाज अ लेडी, एंड उनसे भी मैंने पूछा मैम हाउ इज द वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस फॉर अ वुमन इन बीएनवाई,
Hmm.
is it comforting and how do you find it. And third was the HR, and I asked about him. He was a great person from IIM doing his PhD or something. So I asked him to that, sir, are you giving your best in other fields also apart from your job and all? You had such a big position in the HR team. He was the vice president of HR team.
Okay.
So that was the moment I knew that you just have to be honest. That's what I
Hmm.
believe. And in all the three rounds, whatever I showed was the honesty.
Yeah.
In first round
That's
also I
the.
remembered, yeah, मेरे ना प्रोजेक्ट में मन थे तीन प्रोजेक्ट्स. एंड आप मानोगे नहीं कि उसमें एक था जिसमें मैंने फायर बेस में बहुत कंट्रीब्यूट किया था, लेकिन
Hmm.
आई फेल्ड बिट एट मोंगोडीबी. तो मैंने वहां पे झूठ नहीं बोला, मैंने उन्हें ये बताया कि सर मैंने फ्रंट एंड में कंट्रीब्यूट किया, आई नो अबाउट फायर बेस एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ एपीआईज,
Hmm.
बट आई सक्ड एट मोंगोडीबी. आई
Hmm.
कुड हैव सेड एंड ब्रैग्ड अबाउट इट, बट उस चीज का क्या फायदा जहां पे आप कहीं फंस सकते हो.
Yeah. Right. We should
So वहां पे
never lie in our we should never lie in our interviews. They will also put us into a problem.
ट्रू, आप अपने रिज्यूमे में भी कभी झूठ मत लिखो और
Hmm.
ना ही अपने इंटरव्यू में कभी बोलो, क्योंकि चाहे आपका कम है लेकिन अगर अच्छा है, सच्चा है, वहां पे
Hmm.
आपको ले लिया जाएगा।
Yeah,
एंड वही
right.
मैंने किया। सेकंड राउंड में भी आई रिमेम्बर कि मैंने बाइनरी सर्च की थी, मैंने प्रॉपर्ली अप्रोच एक्सप्लेन की थी, मैंने सूडो कोड भी लिखा। मैं कोड लिखने जा रही थी, उन्होंने कह दिया कोई जरूरत नहीं है, चलो हो गया, ये तो समझ में आ गया मुझे आप क्या बोल रहे हो। और अगर वो कोड लिखते हुए जैसे लिंक लिस्ट का जब कोड लिखा मैंने, तो शी सिंटेक्स में उन्होंने कुछ बोल दिया, तो मैंने वो चीज करेक्ट करी, मैंने बोला यस मैम यू राइट, ऐसे ऐसे लिखना चाहिए। मतलब आप ये उन्हें बोलो ही मत कि हमें नहीं आता या हम नहीं कर सकते। आप उनसे
Hmm.
कंस्ट्रक्टिव फीडबैक लो वहां बैठ के, मैम इज इट राइट, और क्या अच्छा कर सकते हैं इसमें, एम आई गोइंग राइट। तो
Yeah.
इंटरव्यू रियली हेल्प्स यू, दे आर देयर फॉर योर हेल्प।
Yeah, right. Completely makes sense. We should never lie. We should answer each question with honesty and confidence. We should be ourselves. We should represent. We should not fake ourselves. We should be yourself. That's the key to our success in interviews. At least we will get the satisfaction at the end that yes, we have given our best. So that is the most important satisfaction we need after every interview. Yeah, so you were asked one DSA question in your second interview that was of BST.
दो क्वेश्चंस थे, वन वाज फ्रॉम द डबल लिंक लिस्ट
Okay,
एंड
double
सेकंड वाज
links.
फ्रॉम।
Okay. And in your second interview, in your first interview, what were the topics related to DSA questions?
इन द फर्स्ट इंटरव्यू आई वाज आस्क्ड द क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम array एंड strings।
Okay, right. So, what were the questions they asked from CS fundamentals like OOPS, OS, and DPMS?
um as far as I remember from OOPS, they were from inheritance,
Mm-hmm.
polymorphism, and two questions were from in the DBMS, जैसे मैंने बताया joints के questions थे,
Mm-hmm.
आपके normal forms के question थे, 1NF, 2NF, 3NF
Mm-hmm.
and all, BCNF. And in second round also joints में ही ना joints के types पूछ लिए थे, and वो कितने
Okay.
correlated है, जैसे जो भी टाइप्स हैं वो किस तरीके से टेबल्स में यूज होते हैं, ये पूछा था
Hmm.
मुझसे
Okay.
ईबीएमएस के अंदर। एंड ओएस में मुझसे पूछा था उन्होंने, द पार्ट वाज क्यूइंग के जितने भी शेड्यूलिंग एल्गोरिथम्स, यस, ओएस
Okay.
में से शेड्यूलिंग एल्गोरिथम्स में से पूछा था, द टाइप्स एंड हाउ दे आर इम्प्लीमेंटेड।
Okay. So, there are a lot of questions asked from CS fundamentals as well. So, these
यस,
are the.
आई वाज एक्चुअली थिंकिंग कि सिर्फ डीएस से पूछेंगे, थोड़ा मेरा डर भी था बिकॉज एकेडमिक्स पे मैंने बहुत ध्यान दिया जब मैं गई थी सेकेंड ईयर में।
Hmm.
So I was confident in OS CS fundamentals, but then there was a time कि उन्होंने सब कुछ पूछा,
Hmm.
एंड आपको वहां पे पता होना चाहिए था, आप खाली नहीं बैठ सकते थे।
Yeah, right.
सो वही मैंने कहा कि अगर आप किसी एक सब्जेक्ट में भी अच्छे हो ना, तो आप उसे अपने रिज्यूमे में मेंशन कर सकते हो कि हमें ये आता
Hmm.
है।
Yeah, right. Completely makes sense. And what are the topics related to DSA questions in the online assessment round?
In the online assessment, I was asked four questions. One from was strings,
Okay.
next was array,
Hmm.
next again was array, and the last question was from Q.
Okay. And what was the duration of each interview round?
The two technical rounds almost lasted from 30 to 45 minutes.
Hmm.
And the last HR round, I think it was from 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay. So, what kind of projects should a student work on to improve their resume so that it creates a positive impact, so that it makes their resume different from others?
This is a very good question because people nowadays go for direct the MERN projects, front end projects, but
Yeah.
these are not just sufficient anymore.
Hmm.
I think you should explore in terms of project. So,
Hmm.
one related to API should be there because now every company demands your hands on API and
Hmm.
Java.
Hmm.
जावा और जावास्क्रिप्ट, इन दोनों में
Hmm.
से किसी में भी एक प्रोजेक्ट जरूर बनाओ, बिकॉज राइट फ्रॉम द रिएक्ट जेएस, एंगुलर जेएस, ऑल द
Hmm.
फ्रेमवर्क्स व्हिच आर देयर, दे विल आस्क ऑफ जावा और जावास्क्रिप्ट.
Hmm. Yeah, right.
एंड
And we,
यहाँ पे या
yeah, what will you say?
आई वाज सेइंग दैट ओपन एआई की जो एपीआईज हैं उन पे बेस्ड अगर
Hmm.
आप प्रोजेक्ट बनाते हो तो आपकी दो चीज कंप्लीट हो जाएगी. आप एपीआई को भी कवर कर लोगे एंड
Hmm.
आप ओपन एआई के अंदर मतलब एआई की फील्ड में भी एक प्रोजेक्ट बना पाओगे इसके थ्रू. सो आई
Yeah,
थिंक इट
right.
वेरी यूनिक प्रोजेक्ट दैट.
Yeah, right. Completely agrees. And we can also go for some real life projects so that it solves some basic real life problem. So that's also creates different impact on in our resume.
Right,
So
right.
like, what do you think BNY is exactly looking for in a candidate? Did they want pro coders or what?
They want a person with holistic development, I feel like.
Hmm.
आपके कोडिंग के स्किल्स के बाद what they are looking is how strong are you at fundamental and basic level. आपका बेस कितना अच्छा है वो सब टेस्ट करेंगे.
Hmm.
सो उन्हें पता है कि जितना हमारा डीएस से यूज होना है एसक्यूएल भी उतना ही यूज होगा तो कितना इस बच्चे को डीबीएमएस आता है. सो
Hmm.
आई थिंक दे आर लुकिंग फॉर अ पर्सन विद a good base in
Hmm.
whatever that person is pursuing.
Yeah, right. Because they are looking for someone who can solve problems. Doesn't unless and doesn't matters language, and it doesn't matters. They just want a person who can solve real life problems. So that in when we are going to a company, then in corporate we were working on different kind of problems. So language doesn't matters. Your problem solving skills matters in the corporate. So that's the point. So
Right.
what do you think? So what would be your advice to the students who will be giving their interviews? Like what are the things they should avoid doing in an interview?
Students should avoid, first of all, lying in their interview and
Yeah, right.
bragging more than they know.
Hmm.
Second thing I feel like is that they should stick to their base. They should
Hmm.
not try to cover the thing that they are not doing.
Hmm.
So whenever any question is asked to them and they have a hint of the optimized approach, but they don't know about the code, there is no need of going to the code and started writing it in front of the interviewer. You are
Hmm.
comfortable. If you are comfortable with the algorithm and approach, just
Hmm.
tell it first of all to them.
Yeah, right.
Start from the brute force. And the one of the most important major thing is that हमेशा जीरो से शुरू करो. अगर आपको
Hmm.
कोई डीएसए का या टेक्निकल क्वेश्चन पूछा जा रहा है डोंट डायरेक्टली जंप टू द ऑप्टिमाइज अप्रोच. पहले उन्हें बेस
Yeah,
बता दो.
yeah. Otherwise, either they will change the question, or they will just turn out the question in some other way, so that it will not remain the same question as you have already studied. So
यस.
that's.
मतलब थोड़ा सा ऐसे ना आपके लोग स्मार्ट है या जो भी है इट इज बेटर टू प्ले स्मार्ट देन टू प्ले हार्ड.
Hmm.
बिकॉज अगर आप थोड़ा टाइम एक क्वेश्चन में बिता दोगे एंड आपको जिसकी अप्रोच पता है दैट विल बी वेरी कंफर्टेबल देन गोइंग फॉर एन ऑप्टिमाइज्ड अप्रोच ऑफ सम अदर क्वेश्चन व्हिच यू डू माइट नो.
Hmm.
सो दिस इज आई थिंक दैट पीपल शुड अवॉइड. अपार्ट फ्रॉम इट अपने जस्ट बी ऑनेस्ट. दैट्स इट.
Yeah, right.
दीज बी माय टिप्स.
And think aloud, like while whenever you are solving any DSA question, think aloud your approach, like that, like what you are thinking about that question. So if even if you don't know the approach, or don't if you even if you are not getting any idea for solving that question, then the interviewer might give you hints for solving that question. But if you are just keeping quiet, yeah, no, I am not getting how to solve it, then how can interviewer will be able to help you? So that is
Right,
also
right.
the one. And like we
Yeah,
should also go through our resume before the interview, because like if interview asks something from your resume and if you don't know, then it creates a very bad impact, because we are claiming that we know these things and then we are unable to answer questions. So this is not a good thing.
right.
And
मतलब ये तो
yeah,
सच बात है.
yeah. And any tips and tricks you would like to share?
Yes, yes. I will say that just before the start of your intern drive, just be very careful कि आपका वो एक पीस जो है ना रिज्यूमे वो पूरा भर जाए किसी भी तरीके से. उसके
Hmm.
लिए आप मेहनत करें. एंड डीएसए को भी कभी ये मत सोचना कि 2 महीने 3 महीने में हो जाएगा। जो
Yeah.
चीज किसी को नेचुरली आ सकती है, दैट
Mm.
इज नॉट पॉसिबल फोर्सफुली।
Mm.
People generally do that. People do it very quickly and they had a full support and full-fledged support from their friends. But मैं ये कहूंगी कि जब आप एक कंपनी में चले जाओगे ना, आपको कोई ऐसी लैंग्वेज पकड़ा दी जाएगी जो आपको नहीं आती है,
Yeah, 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 right.
दैट पॉइंट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर द सर्वाइवल।
Right.
वहां पे आपको ये लगे कि अब मेरे को आनी चाहिए थी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग।
Yeah, right. Completely makes sense
Yeah,
because
right. Completely makes sense because
problem solving is the main point, not the language.
राइट। एंड
So
जैसे आपने मतलब मेंशन किया
yeah.
कि इंटरव्यू में मतलब पूछते रहो, दिस इज द पॉइंट आई आल्सो मिस्ड कि जब आपको कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आ रहा है एंड यू आर स्टक एट योर ब्रेन एंड अप्रोच, तो आप उनसे
Mm.
हिंट्स ले सकते हो वेदर यू आर गोइंग राइट और नॉट। इट विल
Yeah,
बी मच बेटर देन बीइंग क्वाइट।
yeah, right. So would you like to share like what challenges you have faced during your interview and how did you tackle those challenges?
यस श्योर। सो आई फेस्ड द चैलेंज ऑफ आंसरिंग द क्वेश्चंस आई डिडंट नो। मेरे को कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए थे जिसमें आई फेल्ट लाइक आई माइट नॉट बी राइट विद माय आंसर।
Hmm.
सो मैंने झूठ भी कॉन्फिडेंस से ही बोला।
Yeah.
दिस विल आई से, एंड ऑल माय फ्रेंड्स हु हैव ग्रैब्ड एन इंटर्न एंड एसडी एट बहुत बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज, दे ऑल से दिस सेम थिंग। अगर
Hmm.
आपको गलत आंसर भी आता है उसे भी आप हंस के कॉन्फिडेंस से
Confident.
ही बोलो।
Because if you're quiet, then the answer will become zero. But even if you are saying the wrong answer, then it might be correct. There are still 50% chances of being it correct. So that's
राइट,
why.
एब्सोल्युटली राइट। क्योंकि आपको जितना झूठ भी बोलना है, गलत बोलना है, यार आप
Hmm.
कॉन्फिडेंस से बोलो, बस इतना बोलो कि हाँ मुझे ये आता है एंड यही इसका आंसर होना चाहिए। द इंटरव्यूअर शुड डाउट देयर नॉलेज दैट सही बोला, इसने सही बोला।
Yeah.
सो दिस समथिंग दैट आपको अगर कोई चीज नहीं आती है, आप ऑनेस्टली कन्फेस कर दो, या फिर यू
Mm.
ट्राई योर नॉलेज ऑन दैट। इफ यू
Yeah.
पार्शियली नो समथिंग, यू टेल योर पार्शियल नॉलेज दैट मैम और सर, दिस माइट गो लाइक दिस माइट बी द
Mm.
आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन, बताओ उन्हें
Yeah.
जितना आता है।
Yeah.
सो यही मैंने चले फेस किए थे। मुझे जैसे क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए थे, सेकंड राउंड में भी हुआ था। I faced a challenge in the binary search tree वाले question. I was a bit confused whether to use the queue or adjacency list for
Mm.
the support data structure. So I told to- both of them to the interviewer. मैंने
Okay.
दोनों अप्रोचेस बताई। मैंने कहा मैम पहली तो ये है, बट आई फील लाइक ये भी यूज हो सकता है।
Mm.
तो मैम दीज आर द टू अप्रोचेस व्हिच वी कैन इम्प्लीमेंट हियर, एंड इसमें थोड़ा स्पेस एंड टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी का डिफरेंस होगा, बट जो आता है उसे बताओ, आप ढंग से बताओ।
Yeah, right. Confidence and our ability to communicate in the interviews is the most important point. If we are unable to communicate our thoughts, then it's really end up.
ट्रू।
Yeah, so I think we have covered everything related to BNY interviews. Yeah, so thank you so much, Khushi, for your time. That means a lot. I hope this video helps a lot of students who are preparing for their interviews. Yeah, so thank you once again.
Thank you so much for having me, and all the best, everyone. Do subscribe and like to this channel, and follow Priyanshi for LinkedIn and updates. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you very much. And have a good rest of the day. Bye, Khushi. Bye,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Bye. See you in the next video. Bye, everyone. Bye.